Ghanatube so it was your former for snowy my sign so at an asibium made some our draw etregum the four corners of Ghana Brona Indian personal senior maternal senomedy Bawku and Sembia Ecoso Ewa or my Nina Eba never some format so Edia Mama.
High Court in Accra has partially dismissed an application for further disclosures filed by counsel for the first and second accused in the ongoing National Signals Bureau trial, citing the irrelevance of some of the requested materials and the prosecution's non-possession of others. Mr. Samuel Atachia, counsel for Łahocking Boahene, his wife Angela Boateng, and the fourth accused had filed a motion seeking access to several documents. These included the bill of lading for a BMW vehicle, documents confirming the port of entry, and the police docket related to the said vehicle. There's more in the following report by Channel 1 News' Hansen Ajaman.
Mr. Atachia argued that a bill of lading and related documents were critical in determining whether Boahene had indeed imported a stolen vehicle, a claim that forms a central part of the prosecution's case. He described the documents as essential for countering what he termed an unfortunate narrative being announced by the state. However, Deputy Attorney General Dr. Justice Ramsay opposed the motion, calling it legally unfounded. He argued that the bill of lading was likely in the accused's own possession. In his ruling, Justice John Eugene Nyadu stated that the information requested under the first three categories of the motion, namely the bill of lading, port of entry documents, and vehicle clearance papers, had already been sufficiently disclosed through a supplementary witness statement filed by prosecution witness Frank Cromwell. On the matter of the police docket, the judge noted that although the Attorney General's office claimed not to have it, the CID of the Ghana Police Service has shared limited extracts from their database. As a result, Justice Nyadu declined a motion for further disclosures but ordered the police service to directly provide all relevant information in their possession regarding the BMW 740D with chassis number J020CN11428 to the defense team. Earlier in the day, the court also dismissed a request for adjournment filed by newly appointed counsel for the third accused. Mr. Nutifafano Chukwuyi, Justice Nyadu, held that Donko had been given ample time to secure legal representation and was expected to have briefed her new counsel prior to the proceedings. The court therefore ordered that the scheduled motion be moved as planned.
The Ghana Armed Forces has announced a shift from peacekeeping to peace enforcement operations in the conflict-ridden Bawku area and surrounding communities amid escalating violence and insecurity. In a statement, the military said the new directive, which takes immediate effect, was issued by President and Commander-in-Chief John Dramani Mahama. The move comes in direct response to persistent violent attacks and reprisal killings by armed groups. Under the peace enforcement mandate, the Ghana Armed Forces is now authorized to apply all necessary force to restore and maintain order in the area. Speaking during a parade ceremony in Bolgatanga during the deployment, the Chief of Army Staff, Major General Lawrence Kweku Betenu, assured residents that the forces drawn from all three commands, the military now has a formidable presence in Bawku to support the police and intervene decisively whenever necessary.
As a professional Ghana Army and the Ghana Armed Forces, with troops mobilized for training exercise, we just reviewed that training exercise to get the troops redeployed for this real operation to deal with the situation that has emerged at the Bawku Jema area regarding the killings that we experienced over the weekend. This time around, we have marshaled enough of our forces from Southern Command, Central Command to join their colleagues in Northern Command, and we have enough formidable force to undertake whatever operations we have in Bawku and any other area that we assess need some intervention.
The Ghana Cedi has long been more than a currency. It reflects the country's political shifts, economic priorities, and struggles with global market forces. From its post-independence launch to IMF interventions and recent economic shocks, the city's 6-decade journey has been marked by instability. But what key moments have shaped its performance and the broader impact on Ghana's economy and citizens? I have more in this report. Ghana's economy has long been characterized by a volatile exchange rate, with the cedi losing approximately 99.9% of its value since the country adopted a floating exchange regime in 1983. Introduced on July 19, 1965, the cedi replaced the Ghanaian pound at 2.4 cedis to 1 pound. Initially stable and pegged to the British pound and later the US dollar, it began declining in the 1970s amid political and economic instability. A 44% devaluation in 1971 marked a long-term slide. In 1983, Ghana's IMF-backed reforms deepened depreciation. By the year 2000, $1 exceeded 7,000 cedis. The 2007 redenomination restored some confidence, but the cedi's decline soon resumed. Currency analyst Ʞarijboti blames the persistent weakness on fiscal discipline and import dependence, among others.
Whenever you see hyperinflation, it means or inflation soaring, it means local goods are expensive, and local investors may not have all the luxury and then the resources to even produce as much because it's costly to buy local raw materials to produce. So everybody tends to depend a lot on imports, and so long as your import bill is growing and you do not have commensurate supply of FX, you would have depreciation problems. And you can trace inflation through most of the periods of hyper or very pronounced depreciation of the cedi. It runs through all those periods, really. So inflation will lead to loss of value because it will encourage imports and discourage domestic production.
Despite optimism following oil production in 2010, the cedi fell from 1 Ghana cedi 42 pesos to nearly 6 Ghana cedis by 2020. The COVID-19 pandemic accelerated the crisis. In 2022, the cedi fell to 14 Ghana cedis per dollar, prompting Ghana's 17th IMF bailout. Between 2022 and 2024, the currency depreciated an average of 20% annually, sparking inflation and labor unrest. But in a sharp turnaround, the cedi has appreciated 51% in 3 months, cutting inflation by nearly 9 points. But not everyone is cheering, as exporters and import-reliant businesses say the sharp appreciation has hurt their margins, forcing industry leaders to appeal for government intervention to curb the cedi's surge. Ʞarijboti points to key turning points as brief windows of strength for the currency.
Like the commodity price, favorable ones are that the redenomination. Whenever there is a semblance of improved fiscal performance, you tend to see the cedi perform also. Investor confidence in the 2007-2008 period, there was a lot of investors flowing into the local market. I remember how the local bond market became so attractive within those periods, and those portfolio investment inflows supported liquidity in the market and periods of IMF program, and in the case of 2004, 2003, the HIPLIC program. All of these tend to support cedi stability.
However, analysts warn that lasting stability requires deeper structural reforms.
Agotie and Semno about for comment comment section. I measure I can kindly na ediamon. Answer na meso musu meka musu aha Ghanatube so in sembia ekoso ewo on my no onsa ebeka subscribe na hit notification bell no for quick updates here there. Macau.